Hello there, my name is Rachel, like to talk about animation, and today we're talk about a new web series from Pitch Creek because that's basically the title of the web series, it's also the title of the channel. Pitch Creek, what it is especially a spiritual continuation of the original Ed and Eddie. I mean, continuation. They do certain things that you have to be reminded of the original series like Johnny 254 original last name. They sort of dropped it after the first season. They actually break the fourth wall to talk about it, to understand, to sort of kind of catch you up, certain the things they're trying to tell you so you can follow the narrative story of this web series. Because the first episode does grab you completely, especially the first 2 minutes. Ironically, the first 2 minutes, nothing happened because it's trying to build the world, trying to get that sort of feeling of the original show without being rushed. That sort of middle of nowhere, small town, a bunch of kids trying to scam each other, and really nothing really happened. It's just kids using their imagination to do certain things. And I think that's the best way to describe it, the original show of Ed and Eddie, because really nothing really happens, just sort of bizarre things that you don't know is the kid's imagination or this sort of weird things happen in in their own life. And I love they took the approach that sort of kind of horrific kind of take. I mean, horrific is the feeling that sort of emptiness, that sort of dread, like is something near the corner would actually hurt you. That sort of horror approach, that 2 minutes, they just build that sort of kind of sense. But it did it so well, you appreciate it because it really grabs your attention and you feel I am back to the show because they try to do so little but do so much. Sounds strange, but it actually works so well. Especially how ironic this is because the original creator of Ed and Eddie that he wanted to continue a show but make the kids older and that attempted to do a pilot and it completely failed. This web series, this fan web series, did the same thing but landed the target. It just landed, understood the feeling, understood the character so well. I'm just sort of surprised because you should hire this small team of animators to remake or make an adult version of Eddie because this show understood the characters, especially the three main cast. Because Ed and Eddie sounds the same, but because this is sort of fan funded, this is basically independent. The voice actors do not sound exactly the original, but I feel they've done that on purpose because they're not kids. They're actually older. They're like around 17 or 18, maybe junior or senior high, about to graduate high school. But they sort of, how they talk and how the voice sort of cracks sounds so appropriate. Especially they get the sort of kind of characters they really are. Especially how they feel they become sort of nihilistic over the years. Like, for example, the first character we completely follow of the first episode is Double D. That how smart he is. He had this sort of kind of nihilistic, kind of like poetic, sophisticated, educated way to explain things, but like a poetic way that is sort of educational, but also nihilistic. And every time he's upset or somebody trying to say something very specific, he sounds very poetic because uh, Double D is well educated, very well versed how he says specific things. You also have uh, Ed, who is especially the same as the original show, just his voice got a little bit more higher, a little bit more, but he feels kind of desperate for the attention because on this version, it goes back to the event of the stairs. If you're a fan of the original, you know what I'm talking about, the stairs, that sort of disturbing thing that parents did specifically took his stairs away from him so he doesn't get out of his own room. That's so simplistic and sort of disturbing. They decided to continue that plot on this web series that's sort of disturbing, sort of scare on his parents, but at the same time tiring, but it never really fully explains it. It just shows you the events that small little peak that just ripped the letter, the not the letter, the staircase away from his own room. Just sort of, you just like understood. In other words, you understood that sort of disturbed them a little bit because how they loved their daughter more than him, especially what happened to the very end of the episode. He decided to run away, and that's sort of interesting because he doesn't say much. It's just a sort of sneak peek, his expression, and the thing he's sort of scared of talking to his best friend, like, "Oh, I have to go back to help my sister do her homework because my parents said so." And that's the only line he says in the first episode. He said it like 3 times, but each time he said it like a very panicking, frustrating way that kind of not over exaggeration, but it's something that is final. I have to do this. This is final. I have to leave right now. Especially what happened to the main lead of the main trio of the whole show, Ed Double D, Eddy, there we go. Eddy himself, how they introduce him, it's the exact same thing as the original show. That sort of kind of smart ass, trying to take lead, trying to take control of the whole group. But I love it is he just wanted a change. Like they have the whole end of the episode. It's that sort of conversation. Like we need to sort of change it up. I mean, we are sort of running gag over and over. We just stuck in the same place. But I love that they break the fourth wall. Not like Deathpool or anything like that, because this web series do break the fourth wall because the original show did break the fourth wall, but they only does this. It's just sort of to kind of speed up the story, trying to catch you up all the little things you forget or you don't know to understand what happened at the end. Now, the very end of the whole episode became Twin Peaks because at the very end sold me about this web series because the end is sort of you see the Canker sisters. I think the youngest one, the one who assists with Double D, that she saw sort of a dream that one of the Eds is running away, but it became sort of weird, abstract, but at the same time being true to the original Ed and Eddy because the show was a little bit abstract sometimes. But I love it. They have sort of played with the idea, especially the format. Yeah, I mean the format is the first couple of minutes is sort of 8 by 12. Like I mean 8 by 12. I mean the original TV. You have like this sort of section. The rest of this sides are completely black, and that's all you see. This is the original format of the original series. The dream segment is like 12 by 8 or something like that. That sort of HD view like this. That's sort of the dream aspect. So I don't know they could start keeping that way or this is only the dream aspect of the show. But it's something that's just so interesting because each single character, everything was going on. It's sort of well thought of. The pacing, the Pacific music is sort of country, but not Pacific countries, more melancholy sort of country. The sort of Pacific lead they chose for this first episode, Double D, just sort of tired of the same thing. You just feel all three characters of Ed and Eddy just tired repeating the same thing, sort of melancholy, want to do something, but also asking other questions like why Double D doesn't let his friends to come his home, but he decided to go how about Ed's home instead of Double D's. You don't understand that, but at the same time you kind of do if you see the original series because what they did to that Pacific episode when they decided to go home of Double D destroyed the whole place. That adds to even more if you remember that Pacific episode. I mean, that's the thing. This web series, at least the first episode, does so much tribute to the original. So much little things here and there. If you remember it, they continue that sort of plot thread that really the show never had plot threads or arcs. It's just the little things they drop here and there, like the most remembered. It decides to sort of continue on what happened after that. How Ed feels about the parents who run away, how the characters sort of accepts who could actually help the Ed boys. You also the kind of melancholy of Double D or Eddie's sort of tiredness of repeating the same thing over and over. And that's just sort of interesting because you have little plot threads here and there of the original, but you get it. You see where the show going, but very artistic tweak peaks sort of twist that sort of kind of weird, sort of supernatural, but still being true to the original. That's why it sort of grasped me watching this web series because I understood the the original, understood sort of the nihilistic, sort of middle of nowhere feeling, that sort of dread just got you. At least for me, I don't know. You seen this web series? This is on YouTube. It's just so different and unique. Hopefully, have more episodes in the future. But I don't know you how you felt this sort of independent web series. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.